So here's a puzzle for you. Can large language models really think? Can they reason like intelligent agents, making decisions and adapting to dynamic environments? Or are they just really, really good at guessing the next word in a sentence? Well, a brand new paper called Towards a Deeper Understanding of Reasoning Capabilities in Large Language Models took this exact question seriously. And rather than giving models another round of trivia questions or puzzles, they dropped them into something called SMARTPLAY. Now, what's SMARTPLAY? It's basically a set of text-based games where the environment changes depending on what the model does. Games like Tower of Hanoi, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and Messenger puzzles, where you have to navigate hidden messages and obstacles. It's about real step-by-step decision-making, not just answering isolated questions. Digging deeper, what did they actually test? The researchers tested 4 different models, like a llama and Mistral, with parameter counts ranging from about 8 billion all the way up to 70 billion. Pretty beefy models, right? But here's the interesting bit. They didn't just run the models raw. They tried 3 specialized prompting methods to encourage smarter reasoning. First up, we have something called reflection. Think of it like the model having a built-in journal. After every move, it reflects on what happened. It literally tries to learn from its mistakes, saying things like, last time I went left, that didn't go so great. Maybe I should switch things up. Next, there's the planner. Imagine the model playing mental chess, trying to simulate a few moves ahead, considering multiple outcomes, and picking the one most likely to pay off. It's actively strategizing before taking a step. And then there's the third method, the oracle. This one's basically evolutionary prompt hacking, trying tons of slight variations in the prompts, keeping what works best, and discarding the rest. Think of it as a model's way of talking to itself to figure out smarter strategies. What did the study actually find? Here's the deal. The results were pretty mixed. Bigger models did better overall. No huge surprise there. But what's fascinating is that clever prompting, especially using reflection and planner, sometimes allowed smaller models to punch above their weight. But here's the catch. Even the best models made some pretty basic mistakes. Illegal moves, repeated errors, forgetting what they had already done. Things that suggest these models might not have a robust understanding of their environment. And that's key. It's not that the models can't reason logically, it's that they're reasoning inside a text-based simulation, a linguistic mirror world that's disconnected from physical reality. They're reasoning in a world with no weight, no friction, no actual space or time. This isn't a shortcoming of their logic, it's a limitation of their input. If you've never actually moved a physical object or experienced the real consequences of an action, how could your reasoning ever be truly aligned with the world we live in? What does this mean for the future of AGI? But let's not get discouraged. This is exactly the kind of limitation that points us to what comes next. Think about it. Reflection and planning aren't just neat prompt tricks. In future AGI systems, they'll probably be internalized, standard parts of how the model operates, like built-in intuition or metacognition, constantly checking and adjusting based on real-world feedback. And the oracle approach might evolve into something like an internal trial and error loop, a model talking itself through potential solutions and scenarios, continually refining its internal strategies. But the real game changer? Multimodal and embodied models, systems like GPT-4o, Google's Gemini or PAL-ME that don't just read and write, they see, hear, move, and maybe even feel, at least virtually. Models grounded in something closer to human reality, making reasoning truly meaningful. Personally, I'd love to see these same SMARTPLAY experiments run on multimodal models. Would their reasoning become less brittle, more stable, and actually robust when grounded in something closer to real-world sensory experience? My gut says yes. So here's my personal takeaway. Maybe these large language models really are reasoning. Maybe what we're seeing isn't bad logic or broken reasoning at all. Instead, they're reasoning within a world defined only by words. A linguistic world that doesn't quite align with the complexity and unpredictability of the real physical universe. Not broken reasoning, just disembodied reasoning, logic floating in a text bubble. And you know what? That's actually good news. Because it means we know exactly what the next step is. We're watching the early stages of reasoning and cognition forming, like the first tentative steps of a child learning balance. Imperfect, but absolutely promising. Imagine what's possible when these models finally connect their reasoning to the richness of sensory experiences, physical interactions, and genuine multimodal grounding. That's the future of AGI reasoning, and honestly, I can't wait. All right, that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for hanging out with me here at Fast Track AI. If you enjoyed this grounded take on weirdly smart machines, make sure to subscribe and stick around. This has been Fast Track AI, and I'll catch you next time.